We're going to go ahead and get started this week. It's October 20th, and today we have a didactic presentation from our esteemed colleague, Leslie Bechtel Van Orman from the Department of Education, talking about assistive technology and IDEA, which I think that most individuals are familiar with, but one of the things that we know is good to deliver via ECHO is kind of going back to those basics and making sure we're covering those key concepts so that everybody's familiar with them, and then we can talk about specific questions towards the end. So I don't think we have any announcements. We're going to have two separate case presentations today, which I'm really excited about, and we're going to try something a little different this time, actually from Fremont County, and the family members actually are going to be in attendance, so we'll see how that goes, but I'm really excited. So thank you, Ellen, and all the Fremont County team for getting that arranged. We'll go ahead and do introductions. We do have a couple of new members who are joining us, and just to get everybody on the same page with regards to etiquette and the introductions, we just want a little bit about you. Tell us your name, where you're located at, kind of why you're here today, and then if you have any questions as we go through, we prefer that you guys raise your hand. Give us some sort of a verbal signal if you have questions or comments, just because we do have quite a few people on the line and it's easier for us to just go ahead and call on you. So we'll start with introductions. I'm Canyon Hardesty. I'm the coordinator of community education here at the Wyoming Institute for Disabilities and currently your ECHO and AT facilitator.
I am Mary Ginsel, occupational therapist, sitting.
I'm Darcy Regan, speech language pathologist for Wind Water.
Giselle Knopf, water project coordinator assistant. And we have
Kasoon with IT.
Welcome. I'm Sandy Root Elledge, currently the interim director of the Wyoming Institute for Disabilities.
Cindy Almeida, project coordinator for water.
And then we'll go to our other water team member based in Lander.
Hi, Barb Locke, ATP from Lander.
Great. Thanks for joining. And we have our national trainer.
Hi, I'm Gail Bowser. I'm coming to you from Oregon, where I work as a consultant and lead trainer for the ECHO project, which doesn't mean I do all the training, but means I get to work with nice people like Leslie.
Great. And then we have our WDE out special services staff. So Laura, do you want to go?
Hi, I'm Laura Ozias Townsend. I'm a vision outreach consultant out of the Casper office when I have internet.
Oh man, and Billy, it looks like you've joined.
Hello everybody. I'm Billy Wortham. I'm an audiologist with the Department of Ed, Deaf and Hard of Hearing Outreach. My office is in Riverton.
Great, thanks for joining. And Amy. No, wait, let's go to Leslie first.
Okay. I'm Leslie Bechtel Van Orman. I coordinate vision outreach services for the Department of Education, and I'm currently the interim state special education director.
Great. Thanks for joining and thanks for presenting. So some more of our folks. Amy, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Amy Rushforth, occupational therapist and orientation and mobility specialist, private practice, and right now I'm in Pavilion.
I'm still impressed with your connection from Pavilion. Last year it wasn't so great. This year it's perfect.
I know. The IT guy hooked me up so my computer, they recognize my computer immediately. And I don't have to go through like 5 different levels to access Zoom. So it's been great.
Perfect. And then it looks like Juliana's joined us again.
Hi, Juliana Greenleaf. I do special ed and vision in Rollins.
Great. We're so glad to have you. And then Tom, do you want to say hi?
Okay, there we go. Sorry. I'm trying to do everything with that. I'm on a IBM, what is this, Surface Pro or whatever. But anyway, Tom James with IT. And it's interesting watching this remotely. I've got some ideas we'll talk about when we get back.
Perfect. Perfect. We like to improve things as we go. And then Casey and Michael, and I'm not sure who else is in the room, but do you want to introduce yourself from Fremont County?
Sure. Casey Widhelm, case manager, AT coordinator in Fremont 1, and I'll let the other people in the room introduce themselves.
Carrie Polson, case manager at the Lander Middle School. Ellen Holzman, speech pathologist, Lander Middle School and high school.
Then we will have one more person joining us, closer to 3.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thanks so much for attending and for presenting. And then we have 2 other guests who've joined us from New Mexico, as I said. Emily, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm working with Kathy Binger here in New Mexico, and I have my degree in linguistics.
Thanks for joining us. And Kathy, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Kathy Binger. I'm an associate professor of speech language pathology at the University of New Mexico, and it's so nice to see some of you who I've known for a long time and haven't seen you for a while. So hi, everybody.
A great part of this. We get to see everybody every week from all over the place. Perfect. And then it looks like Tricia, you've joined.
Hi. I'm Tricia Parkinson from Lincoln County School District number 2 in Afton, Wyoming.
Great. Well, thanks again, everybody. Is there yes? Okay. I think we'll go ahead and turn everything over to Leslie. She's gonna drive the presentation. So, the floor is yours, Leslie.
All right. So I will share my screen. All right. So this is taken from a presentation that I actually helped Michael Harris, the special ed director at Lander, create when he was working for the department. So I have some information that
You receive his prompt.
Yeah.
So here we go. So I'm Leslie Bechtel Van Orman, as I said during introductions. My background is as a teacher for the visually impaired and an orientation and mobility specialist. There's no disclosure, and I'm hoping that by the end of the presentation that you'll have just a basic understanding of the assistive technology requirements in IDEA. So here we go. So the first thing is that I think you have to think about is there are pieces of IDEA that talk specifically about assistive technology, but where the rubber really meets the road is in the broader provision of a free and appropriate education. So the first slide we put in here, I have to put in every presentation because I'm obsessed with it. And it's a visual that we created a few years ago at the Department of Education, like, 7 years ago maybe, that we call the FAPE progression. So it sort of walks through what the regulatory requirements and the supporting case law have determined is a free and appropriate public education for a student with a disability. The first piece that you see is there has to be a comprehensive evaluation, and that comprehensive evaluation is not only there to determine the eligibility of the student, but also to identify their educational needs. Once that comprehensive evaluation occurs, all of those needs are pulled into the IEP document, and those educational needs, that usually occurs in the present levels of academic and functional performance. And these students this is pulling their needs into the working document that you write that's going to become the plan for their upcoming year of school or achievement. So each of those needs then should be addressed with a goal. So those should have specific and measurable annual goals that address all the areas that were identified from the comprehensive evaluation. Those are required to be ambitious, but they also have to be reasonable, something that could be attained within the time frame of the IEP. And then the next piece is that there should be a service package that allows the students allows the student to attain those annual IEP goals and encourages involvement in the general curriculum. So the last piece is that program that you put together has to be reasonably calculated to provide non-trivial educational benefit or FAPE. And that would not only be goal attainment, but that would be movement toward, that would be performance or grades, that would be performance on assessment. There's a lot of things, but there needs to be proof of educational benefit. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some case law and some regulations around specific to assistive technology, but you'll see that much of that refers back, especially the guidance from the federal government and the case law, to the fact that the provision of assistive technology is linked directly to what is FAPE for that child. All right, so in the federal regulations, this is the definition of assistive technology. And you can see that it includes not just devices, but also that it talks about devices and services. And it also gives a clear scope of the low and high tech possibilities around assistive technology. In this section, you're seeing that this is the definition that is related directly to the services. So, of course, there are going to be students who need an assistive technology device that will also need instruction in how to use that device. And it's important to think about this as you're drafting and writing the IEP, going through the IEP process, because for instance, a student who needed augmentative communication, it would be very unlikely that you could hand that student an augmentative communication device without providing them with some sort of supports and instruction and have them be successful. It would be very difficult in my mind at that point to argue that that student was receiving educational benefit without the inclusion of instruction. There are, of course, other technologies, if you think about an FM system in a classroom, that might not require quite as much instruction, but it should be a consideration as we're looking at devices for students. So the regulation also talks in the special factors section about the fact that the IEP team must consider whether a child needs assistive technology devices or services. This is for every kid. The special factors section calls out a few different areas, including Braille, including behavior, including communication, and assistive technology that they want us to focus on and consider for each child. So this is one place in an IEP that the team must document assistive technology and whether a student needs this support or not. And more, if you think about this too, students have a lot of access to assistive technology on a day-to-day basis. So think about laptop computers, classrooms with iPads for all of the students, FM systems in the classrooms. However, the IEP team needs to go back and think about that. What is FAPE for this particular child? Because if that piece of assistive technology that may be provided within the classroom the student is, in which the child is a student, is required for that student to receive FAPE, then that needs to be documented in this section of the IEP. So schools must ensure that assistive technology devices or services, or both, are made available to a child with a disability if required as part of the child's special education, related services, or supplementary aids and services. On a case-by-case basis, the use of school-purchased assistive technology devices in the child's home or other settings is required if the IEP team determines that the child needs access to those devices in order to receive FAPE. So you can see it's tying it all back to that foundational FAPE concept. Now, when you're thinking about all of these different areas, assistive technology can be a specialized instruction. It could be potentially related services, or it could be supplementary aids and services. So if you think about the use of a portable Braille output device, it is certainly likely that a student initially would need to receive specialized instruction to utilize that device. So in that case, that would be specialized instruction. If the student was receiving supports through a speech-language pathologist to learn an augmentative communication device, then that very well could be a related service. And if a student was needed to be in a classroom with a classroom FM system, that would be a supplementary aid or service. So you can see how assistive technology could end up being documented in a variety of places depending on the specific child and the specific device. So districts, this is the cases listed here. Here's a little bit of case law. And these cases listed here really reinforce the need not only for the IEP team to consider assistive technology, but also to document assistive technology when those devices are required and are a component of a free and appropriate public education